would go, first of all, one step further in this description of Hillary Clinton. She wouldn't just be a disaster. Hillary Clinton is disqualified from being Commander-in-Chief of the United States. Someone who cannot handle intelligence information appropriately cannot be Commander-in-Chief, and someone who lies to the families of those 4 victims in Benghazi can never be President of the United States.
All right, one of the better moments for Marco Rubio from last night's debate. Joining us right now is Webster Hubbell. He's author of Ginger Snaps, and you might also know that he's the former Assistant Attorney General of the United States and former law partner of Hillary Clinton. Hey, Webb, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, and I know the new book is done. It'll be out in May, A Game of Inches, so we look forward to that as a follow-up to Ginger Snaps, but we got time to talk about that when it comes out. Meanwhile, I know you weren't writing last night. I know you were watching the debate. What was your take?
A lot of fear-mongering going on. Seems like everybody wants to go to war on the Republican side.
You mean when it comes to ISIS and terrorism?
Yeah, they're just trying to out-tough one another.
Really? Is that the who do you think emerged, well from the debate?
From my perspective, nobody. But but I would say that Rubio and Christie at least seem to have some moderation in them.
Really? Oh, how so? What do you like about Rubio? I mean, you just heard Rubio. You can't like. I was going to ask you about what he just said about Hillary. You can't like that.
I don't like what he said about Hillary, but it just, this is an overall approach, is that the others seem just off the wall.
Off the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you about Hillary here, and what you just heard Marco Rubio said. Jeb Bush also said, she's under FBI investigation. If she wins the White House, she might be spending many days walking between the White House and the courthouse. Isn't that a legitimate concern for the American public to have? Because she is under FBI investigation, has been for months, and they just expanded that investigation to include the Clinton Foundation and any conflict that might have existed with the State Department. So, I mean, isn't it legitimate for people to worry about that?
I don't think anybody's worried about that. There's a long time between now and the election, a long time before we get it into the voting booth and have to determine between, for example, Hillary and Trump. And at that point, that's when people will make up their mind. And I think that if there is an FBI investigation, and we don't know that, we only read the papers.
Well, no, we know there's an FBI investigation. I mean,
But not necessarily of Hillary. We don't know who they're investigating and what they're investigating. But assume they are, it'll be over far before the conventions.
You believe that? You believe it's so? We're just a couple of 4 months away from it wrapping up. You think they'll make sure that they wrap it up by then, or just it'll be that way?
They're aware that elections are going on, and the director of the FBI and the Attorney General are not going to let it drag into the election period.
That's interesting. Okay, because as a former, number 2 man at the Justice Department, that's interesting that they would have that on their minds. And then after it goes from the FBI, if they have any findings, they could present against Hillary or anybody else a criminal complaint to the Justice Department. Would the Justice Department also take the election and the timing of any announcement into account?
They usually do not try to interfere with the elections. So I think pretty much you can be assured they don't operate in a vacuum. They know what's going on. And so if something is going to happen, which I don't think is going to happen, I think it'll be over within the next few months.
Okay, and if one more on this. If it's not Hillary who's in trouble, if it's Uma, or if it's the guy who set up her whole email server, that she paid to do it or whatever, any criminal referral and or indictment out of this case against Hillary or anybody not related, but involved with Hillary, does it hurt her?
It certainly would hurt her, but it's not going to mean the end. I think she is.
Unless it's her, then it's the end. No.
Unless it's her.
Yeah.
But unless it's if it's someone else, the guy who set up the server and didn't do it right, it's going to be difficult to overcome, but I think she will be the nominee.
And why do you think she's having such trouble in the polls right now? And are you surprised that Chelsea's out there actually not only just propping up her mother, but attacking, some say, Bernie Sanders?
Well, I was surprised at Chelsea going after Bernie. I wouldn't involve children if it were up to me, but nobody's asking my opinion about it.
I'm asking it.
I think we need to keep our children out of the campaigns.
Yeah, even though she's an adult?
Even though she's an adult, whether it's Hillary's children or Bernie's children or Mitt Romney had his children out there, I don't think that is appropriate.
All right.
Really
Webb, always great to talk to you, sir. Of course, his book that is out now is Ginger Snaps. Get it, read it. Thank you. Brad Hirschfield and Roger Simon on the panel next. Don't go away.